Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of News Dose, where I give you all of the latest gaming news. And it looks like Sega has finally figured out that multi-platform games sell more than making them for just one platform. Yeah, who would have thought? But we are going to talk about that, as well as a big remake could be announced very soon and arrive as early as this holiday. And also we have some expected Xbox Series S specs. So stay tuned for all of that, but first let's go over some of the quick news, starting off with SpiritFarer. Now, we did talk about this game yesterday as Nintendo revealed this game at their Nintendo Indie World Showcase. It also released out of nowhere yesterday for $30, though it is on Xbox Game Pass as well. And here's some good news. Reviews are starting to come out for SpiritFarer, and it currently has an 86 overall score on Metacritic. So SpiritFarer is turning out to not only look like a great game, but apparently it is a great game. And I wanted to highlight that in this video. It's so easy to overlook these independent games, and considering it just shadow dropped out of nowhere, I feel some may not know about it as it hasn't gotten a lot of coverage. I haven't played it for myself just yet, but this really may be a game worth checking out, especially if you have Xbox Game Pass. Just think, Xbox Game Pass yesterday received 2 day one launch games, and both have been received incredibly well, with Flight Sim getting a 93 on Metacritic and now SpiritFarer with an 86. Anyways though, go check this game out if you are interested, and if you already have tried it, let me know your thoughts on it in the comments below. Moving on, reportedly on the 22nd, 2 games in the Batman universe will be announced at the DC Fandom event. One being Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, developed by Rocksteady, and the other Gotham Knights by Warner Bros. Montreal. Now, Gotham Knights still remains a bit of a mystery, but Warner Bros. Has been posting some teasers for this game, or more or less a bit of a hidden code. Well, one user over on Reddit actually solved these codes, revealing the numbers 761-941-364-995. And once those numbers were revealed, it didn't take the internet very long to crack the code, because if you type those numbers into Google, the first thing that pops up is a comic book issue of Batgirl, which I'm positive is no coincidence. In fact, the cover apparently is very similar to the Batman Gotham Knights 43 issue. So there you have it. Right now, it does appear that this big game reveal on the 22nd will be a Batgirl game. I don't exactly know much about comic books, but it does show both Batman and Robin on the cover as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if all 3 are playable characters, but I would expect Batgirl to be the main character here. Personally, I think that's pretty cool, but I will ask you, if Warner Bros. Montreal really is making a Batgirl game, are you interested? In other news, we also have a new Oculus update, which I can't exactly say that I'm thrilled about. Okay, so I do have an Oculus Rift S, and I am a fan of Oculus Studios. They do make fantastic VR games, and arguably they are the best at making big AAA VR experiences. Well, as you may know, Facebook acquired Oculus Studios back in 2014 for a massive $2.3 billion. But outside of Facebook's financial support, Oculus users really never had to fill the presence of Facebook itself. Well, that's all about to change, because starting in October of 2020, any first-time user for Oculus headsets will require a login with a Facebook account. Yeah, this is actually happening. Facebook will be forcing you to use Facebook in order to play Oculus headsets starting this October. Now, if you already have an Oculus account, there is a silver lining here. Instead of being forced to use a Facebook account this October, you will instead have until January 1st of 2023 to merge your account with Facebook. If you choose not to do this though, then you will lose functionality of your Oculus headset. So there it is, and I get that not everybody is going to like this. I, for one, am not a big Facebook fan, and that was well before all the controversy they have went through in recent years. But I guess we really don't have a choice anymore. Luckily, Oculus Studios does make good games, but still, I'm just not a big fan of this. What I am a fan of, though, is Sega. However, while I do like Sega, they don't always make sense. The Game Gear Micro, as an example, where you basically have to use a magnifying glass to play it, was a little odd, but one thing I really have never understood was their exclusive releases, especially with the Persona franchise. Now, this may partially be Atlus's fault, but seriously, the Persona games could turn into a huge franchise if it went to more devices. Well, after fans have been saying this for years and years, Sega seems to finally understand. Sega released a Q&A and revealed that Persona 4 Golden for the PC sold significantly higher than expected. Yeah, that's a little concerning that they were majorly wrong about Persona 4 Golden, but hey, at least Persona 4 Golden did sell well on Steam, and that's the thing. Sega said going forward that they intend to aggressively promote the porting of previously launched titles to Steam and other platforms. They also talked about more multi-platform releases in the future, and they did note several times that sales on Steam was really good beyond just Persona 4 Golden. But the fact that they mentioned Persona 4 in specific more than likely means that more Persona games will not only come to Steam, but also other devices. They did say other new platforms as well. So yeah, it's very possible that we will see these games come over to the Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and even the PlayStation 5. And, well, all I can say is it's about time. These are some of the best JRPGs ever made, and if Persona 4 Golden can sell well on the Vita, it can sell anywhere. In fact, it sold 1.5 million copies on the Vita alone, so I'm pretty positive it would be a killer app on the Switch, and for that matter, it could be a big hit on Xbox Game Pass as well. Don't stop with Persona 4 though, let's make the entire Persona franchise multi-platform, including Persona 6, and then Shin Megami Tensei, and any other Sega game that goes exclusive to one platform. I really don't know why Sega seems to be so surprised by this news, but this is great news for all fans regardless of what platform you support. Let me know though, which game would you like to see Sega port to other platforms, and it doesn't have to be from the Persona franchise. Let me know. Also, it appears that a big Ubisoft franchise may be returning with a remake, Prince of Persia. Yeah, Prince of Persia Remake appeared on a Guatemalan retail website for the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. Keep in mind that platforms, release dates, or which specific Prince of Persia game has not been confirmed, but insider Jason Schreier strongly hints that this is indeed true, so this is very likely going to happen. This isn't exactly the first time Prince of Persia has popped up this year either, as we talked about it on this channel in the past because there was a new Prince of Persia domain name registered by Ubisoft, so this isn't overly surprising. I am interested in it being a remake though. We have seen in recent years that remakes, if done right, can do very well. Final Fantasy VII and Resident Evil are perfect examples of this, but I will be curious to see what Ubisoft considers a remake. Is it just going to be a simple remaster, or will it be a complete overhaul like the Resident Evil games? I do hope it's a complete remake, but if it really is on the Switch, it may not be as visually impressive as something like Resident Evil 2. The next question, which game will it be? Warriors Within or Sands of Time would be really cool, but we'll have to wait and see though, but I don't think we're going to have to wait for too long. Ubisoft does have another event coming up in September, so chances are it will officially be announced there. I do kind of feel bad for Ubisoft though, because it seems like all of their games have leaked online this year, including Far Cry 6 right before their last event. With that said, we have an Xbox Series X update. Microsoft did give us a glimpse of the Xbox Series X dashboard today, and well, it looks pretty nice. We don't often think about it, but actually, the UI is one of the more exciting things to see for next-generation consoles. I mean, this is something we look at every single day, whether we boot into a game, Netflix, or buy a new game from the store. The UI is incredibly important, and the good news is that Xbox seems to have improved both from a visual perspective as well as how it runs. Yes, it will be faster running a third faster than the current dashboard today, so that's really nice to hear. The more exciting part though is with some of its new features. It does sport a more rounded look with its tiles, but Xbox is finally adding animated backgrounds. This is something that PlayStation has been doing for a while, and now Xbox is finally bringing that over to give you some nice, pleasing dynamic wallpapers. For me though, what I'm personally interested in seeing is their new record feature. Recording game clips has been a thing since the beginning of this generation, but sharing them has not always been intuitive. With their new dashboard though, game clips you record will automatically be sent to your phone, where you can then post and share them through social media websites, which is a very nice addition. I'm sure I don't have to tell you, but typing on a phone is much better than typing a message on your controller unless you have a keyboard attachment. Overall though, this is a very nice clean design with better performance, so I'll be excited to check it out for myself. On to our last topic though, let's talk about the Xbox Series S for a moment. This thing has been the worst kept secret in the entire industry, to the point that we know a lot about this console before it has even been officially announced. Well, we got a little bit more information on some of its specs. This is coming from both Tweaktown and Tom Warren from The Verge. Now, I will say that Tweaktown's Series S specs is, I believe, unconfirmed guesswork based off some of the things that we do know, but Tom Warren later on chimed in, and it seems as if he is signing off on the listed specs by Tweaktown, which is a good sign that what they have posted is relatively close to the final specs of the Series S. Again, this is not a confirmed list, but maybe something similar to what we should expect. In fact, Tom Warren also posted that the GPU for the Series S will be 3.97 teraflops running 20 compute units at 1.55 GHz. If you look at the side-by-side comparison though of the Series S and Series X, they are relatively similar outside of the video card, which is very interesting. The Series S looks like a very capable machine based off of these specs here. In fact, the processor is actually faster than the PlayStation 5. It's not more powerful than a PlayStation 5, but it does have a very good processor. It really is the GPU that is the main difference, and less RAM, which does make sense. From everything that we are hearing, the Series S looks to target 1080p gaming at 60 frames per second. In the spec sheet, it does say 1440p, but I believe it's still targeting 1080p. Either way, it's not looking to reach 4K resolution, which will already offload some of the workload that will be applied to the Series X and the PlayStation 5. So really, if you don't have a 4K TV, the Series S may actually be a very viable option, especially if they can get the price low enough. You can see here that it may not have an optical drive, which will also help with keeping costs low. And in the ever-increasing world of digital games, that really shouldn't be a big issue. It now all comes down to the price, which is incredibly important. If the PlayStation 5 and Series X comes out and they're, let's hypothetically say, $500, then the Series S could come out being a nice $400 machine that a lot of people would buy into. We do have to consider the digital PlayStation 5 though, which I assume will be $50 less than the PlayStation 5. So I'm thinking Microsoft is going to want to price it at least $100 lower than the digital PlayStation 5. In that case, if the digital PlayStation 5 is $450, I would expect the Series S to be $350, which would be an incredible price for a next-generation console. Again, if you're okay with 1080p gaming, this would be the perfect console without breaking the bank. It will likely have less ray tracing as well, considering it has significantly lower compute units compared to the Series X, and that is how ray tracing is handled on next-generation consoles, but overall, if the Series S does have similar specs as this, then we're looking at a very capable machine. I will ask you though, what do you think the price of the Series S will be? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Also, if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, thank you for helping make this content possible. Peace out.